All for joining. This is our virtual panel discussion regarding the expansive and ever-growing AHMG or AdventHealth Medical Group, West Florida Medical Offices. My name is Sky Kellogg, and I will be your host for today's event. As a member of the corporate human resources team at AdventHealth for the last 3.5 years, I am excited to be guiding what I know will be an insightful and hopefully inspiring conversation for you all this evening. During this discussion, I will prompt questions to our panelists so you as the attendee can gain an effectual understanding of AdventHealth Medical Group West Florida. Our hope, of course, is that you will be inspired to join the AdventHealth Medical Group family after learning more about our culture and growing organization. As you ascertain more about us, we encourage you to attend our walk-in interview events. Our walk-in interviews are scheduled every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., currently taking place at our AdventHealth Medical Group location on River Edge Drive, that is Suite 205 in Tampa, Florida. More details will be shared throughout the conversation and in the chat as well, so be sure to watch out for those details there. This unique opportunity allows you to meet our team in person and explore the range of exciting career possibilities available within AdventHealth Medical Group in our West Florida division. We will also discuss the upcoming AdventHealth West Florida Career Expo taking place October 3rd and 4th. This unique hiring experience will take place at the Raymond James Stadium from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. both days, again, October 3rd and 4th. So we will have hiring managers from across our West Florida division ready to interview with you and have potential offers on the same day. So excited to share more about this experience later in the conversation. And right now, it is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed panelists. So panelists, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to meet with us. And if you could, please share your title, a brief overview of your role, and how long you've been with AdventHealth. And I will go ahead and start off with Angel.
Thanks, Sky. As Sky mentioned, my name is Angel Parker, and I'm the centralized hiring manager here with AdventHealth. I've been with AdventHealth for a little over a year, actually a year and a half. And I'm just so happy to be here and talk a little bit more about my role and how I can help welcome those coming into the organization.
Thank you so much, Angel. We look forward to hearing more from you. And Jason, would you mind introducing yourself?
Not at all, Sky. Thank you very much, Jason. I'm the lead lead MA for AdventHealth in New Tampa. I've been with the company for the past 8 months already. And I'm just here to answer any questions that you guys have.
Thank you so much, Jason. And Valerie? Valerie, you're muted. I apologize.
Sorry about that.
No
I'm
worries.
Valerie Dan. I'm a practice administrator of the New Tampa Care Pavilion for Primary Care. I have 11 years of seniority with AdventHealth, and I'm very excited to share this discussion with all the panels that we have today.
Thank you, Valerie. And finally, Jessica, would you mind introducing yourself?
Thank you, Sky. Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica Velasco-Smith. I am a practice manager in a primary care office out in Zephyrhills, Florida. I've been with AdventHealth for over 7 years. I'm super excited to see there's people here from Jamaica and Ghana. So welcome, everyone. Super excited to be part of this and happy to have you all. So look forward to talking to everyone.
Yes, thank you all so much. And yes, to echo what Jessica said, we are so excited. It looks like we have over 140 people with us right now. So we are really grateful that you all took time out of your evening to hear from us. And we're excited to share more information and as many of our panelists mentioned, to answer questions that you have. So just so you're all aware, as attendees, your mics have been placed on mute. However, we highly encourage all attendees to actively engage by sharing comments and questions, and that will be done utilizing the chat function. So if you see the chat button at the bottom of your screen, that is how you will interact with us. You can share questions directly to panelists or to everyone who's in the conversation. So towards the conclusion of our virtual panel discussion, we will dedicate time for our panelists to address some of those questions live. If I see some come up during the conversation that really pertain to what we're speaking of, I may direct those to the panelists at that time as well. But again, we value your participation. We want this to be an interactive session, and we really look forward to you all learning more about this team here and AdventHealth as a whole. So to kick off our discussion, I would love to start with Angel. And Angel, if you could just talk a little bit about what sets AdventHealth Medical Group apart from our hospitals.
Absolutely. So we have several clinics and provide several opportunities for candidates to work in multi-specialty offices, as well as just specialty offices. We have OBGYN, cardiology, neurosurgery, dermatology, a residency program, pediatrics, and many, many more. These offices are all opened Monday through Friday between the hours of operation of 7 a.m. and 6 p.m., which really allow employees to work an 8-hour shift between those hours of operation and really give them that flexibility. A lot of our office managers are fantastic, and they work with our employees to for them to have, work in those specialties, but also go to school and continue their education as well.
Thank you so much, Angel. That was a wonderful overview. As Angel said, there are so many locations and specialties, and in the chat too, we will share a page, a link to a page, so you can get more information about what those specialties involve. But really love the sound of that schedule, Angel, and I'm sure our attendees do too. So thank you for sharing those details. And of course, we're here to talk about hiring. So I would love, Valerie, if you could just give us a brief overview of some of the current openings that we have, with obviously highlighting the highest needs that are currently within AdventHealth Medical Group West Florida.
Absolutely. So one of the biggest jobs in demand right now for the medical group is medical assistants, certified medical assistants. We also have a lot of front desk positions available. And I know just because of the growth within AdventHealth, they're also looking for, more doctors to join the group, especially with primary care.
Perfect. Yes, and we will certainly be going into more detail about those roles so you can get an understanding of what to expect if those are the positions that you're interested in. So again, with walk-in interviews, as I mentioned at the beginning of the conversation, as well as our Career Expo coming up, I really want to make sure that our attendees have an overview of what the application and interview process is typically like, and then we'll go into a little bit more of what it looks like when you're actually at a Career Expo too. So Angel, if you could just talk about the application and interview process, and that way we can get an idea of that way candidates can get an idea of what to expect.
Absolutely. So with us currently having over 90 specialty locations throughout the Hillsborough, Pasco, North Pinellas, and Ocala area, with more to come in 2024, we are actively hiring at every single walk-in Wednesday, like you mentioned earlier, in the River Edge office. What we're looking for, we're really looking for individuals who are really passionate about patient care, who really want to change lives, individuals who are seeking growth and advancement, as we do have a fantastic clinical ladder that we just implemented at the end of 2022. So really someone who is really looking for that growth. We have that clinical ladder that has a tangible pathway to get to each level. So for example, specifically for our medical assistants, we have a pathway to go from medical assistant 1 to medical assistant 2 and then lead MA. We also have a fantastic internal medical assistant certification program, which is new as well, newly implemented. We've had some amazing success, and we love to watch our employees become certified medical assistants and work in that space. When it comes to walk-in Wednesdays, what we'd like to see are resumes that really are updated. Make sure that when you're bringing your resumes that you have all of your years of experience listed. Be sure to update your contact information. I think that's something that's super key. We want to make sure that we can follow up and contact you. And more importantly, making sure that you have that updated email address. Be sure to highlight your skills and your current experience. When it comes to the actual interview, dress for success. Make sure that you're dressing for that job that you really want. Bring at least 2 copies of that updated resume that we talked about. Make sure you make eye contact, smile. Don't be shy to brag about yourself and your skills and your achievements, because we want to hear all about you. And most importantly, breathe. I think that's the biggest thing too. I know it can be a little nerve-wracking, but we have great staff here to interview and kind of walk through your resume. So just make sure that you can really, can articulate your experience. And again, just make sure you're smiling and most importantly, breathe again.
Thank you so much, Angel. That is so helpful. And truly for those of you that are joining us that maybe aren't close to the Tampa area, but maybe close to other locations and are still looking to interview, we have walk-in interviews across our system. And we have more information about that on our walk-in interviews page. And the advice that Angel just gave you is wonderful advice, whether you are interviewing with her or anyone else within AdventHealth. So thank you so much for taking the time to lay that out for those that are attending today. And hopefully that will be useful for them in the weeks and months to come.
One thing, Sky, I did forget to mention too is the great benefit of coming into Walk-In Wednesday is that you'll have that opportunity to apply for the position. Let's say if your computer is just not working at the moment, we have laptops and computers on site to complete that application. You'll have the opportunity to interview with the hiring manager, talk about what positions we currently have open, to discuss your experience, and even receive an offer on the spot.
Perfect. And I did see a question come in the chat in regards to those that may be out of town but looking to come into this area. Would anyone be able to speak on how that differs, and is that possible if someone is looking to interview and maybe can't join a walk-in Wednesday?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a fantastic career website, or career link on our website, which highlights all the open positions that we have. Feel free to apply to those positions, specifically for the counties that we mentioned: Hillsborough County, Pasco, North Pinellas, and Ocala. Again, my name is Angel Parker. You can send your resumes and interest directly to me, and we can work together with our talent acquisition team to schedule a virtual interview. I love the virtual interviews because I know many of you are currently working, so you can interview in the comfort of your car during your lunch break or during your lunch hour. We really love to see our medical assistants really take that initiative to interview virtually in their car or at home. So yes, we definitely want to cater to those who cannot make it in person. So please reach out to us. Let's schedule a virtual interview. You can do that again via the website, reaching out to our talent acquisition specialists, or even just sending your resume directly to me.
Perfect. Thank you, Angel. And thank you for offering that help. Again, if that is something you're interested in doing, please, Angel, you can even put your email in the chat if you would like, for those that may apply directly to you and sending your resume. We appreciate that. So now that we've really talked about the process and what that looks like, I would love to paint the picture for our attendees of what a typical day looks like. So if we could, I would like to direct this question to Valerie. If you could, Valerie, just talk about a typical day for a front desk or care concierge type role, as these are one of the high need areas that we're going to be looking to hire very soon.
No problem, Sky. So our front desk team members, they play a vital role in our offices because they are kind of where it all starts from, by helping patients schedule appointments on a daily basis. So they could do that in person, or they could be answering phone calls to help the patient get an appointment with one of our doctors as a new patient, established patient. They also are verifying insurances throughout the day. They're doing appointment confirmations, to make sure that our patients are going to be able to show up. If not, they may reschedule some patients. They are also, talking with the patients on the phone to help care for them. And also collaborating with our clinical team, which could be our medical assistants or our doctors, to help with any of the patient needs, such as like medications, referrals, and much, much more. So, just to kind of, summarize that, so that they're helping patients in person on phones, they're collaborating with the teams, and, kind of all of this can happen in one day. It's a very fast-paced, busy, which makes the day go by a lot faster, right? But they're also learning, and they're working as a team through the day. Our care concierge, which you're going to find mostly in the pavilions, they're going to be that person that's going to, give you that warm hello and smile when you walk through the door. And they're going to help you check in if you're doing a self check-in through the kiosk or through your phone, our patient's phone, or they're going to complete that check-in for them. They also would take any payments. And since the care pavilions, they have different ambulatory businesses in there, such as the imaging lab and primary care. We also have the specialties. They'll help the patients get to the destination. So if it's a patient showing up and they have an imaging appointment, they're going to get them over to the imaging department and help with any questions that they may have. They're also, put them in an exam room waiting for the medical assistant to come in and get them ready for the doctor to see them. So at the end of the day, they're all working as a team. They stay very busy. And they have a lot to do with the whole care of the patient.
Thank you so much, Valerie. That's wonderful.
Jason kind of take over what the life of a medical assistant looks like through the day, since he is one of the lead MAs here at the New Tampa Care Pavilion.
Yeah.
That's right. So a typical day for a medical assistant definitely involves a lot of tasks, a lot of communication between the front desk and between us as a team. Just to start the day, we have to prepare the rooms, be ready for what's coming. Just make sure we have all supplies, just to definitely provide a good care for our patients. Throughout the day, we focus on assist the providers, taking vitals, update medical records. We also perform any basic lab tests, and as well helping the front desk with any additional, medical assistant stuff that we do, which is such as scheduling patients, taking care of messages, and manage any paperwork that we can possibly get.
Perfect. Thank you, Jason. And thanks for really touching on the clinical and non-clinical side of the role that your position involves. And thank you again, Valerie, for really painting the day of what the day looks like, I should say, for our front desk and our care concierge team members. So again, those roles are in really high need throughout the West Florida Medical Group locations. So please keep that in mind and be aware that there are positions open right now that you all can be applying to. So your days can look like that as well. Now, as we move forward, the next thing I want to talk about is how you found AdventHealth, because all of you are here, hopefully looking to find your place with us too. So, Angel, would you mind talking about how you actually found AdventHealth?
Absolutely. This is my favorite question. So I was attending my weekly women's Bible study group at church, and one of my table mates was asking for assistance to lead her work huddle in a devotional. And my initial reaction was I was super shocked and so surprised that she worked for an organization that created a safe space for her to pray with her coworkers and even the patients. So I immediately asked her where she worked, and that led down a very long conversation of how she really loves to work for AdventHealth and how it's a faith-based organization and how it's very patient care focused and the growth opportunities. It was so nice to hear that she had gone through an entry-level position and really moved her way up quickly through the ladder to become a lead. And so, yes, I think it was fantastic. It's few and far in between the employers that really create that safe space so that you can share your faith with others and even just practice it on your own.
That is wonderful, Angel. And yes, I think that's a great time to mention for those of you that maybe haven't had a chance to interact with any AdventHealth team members or to join a discussion like this, but our mission is to extend the healing ministry of Christ. So that really is a big part of how we operate as an organization. And of course, most importantly, how we treat our patients and each other. So thank you, Angel, for sharing that. I think that's so important to remember, and something that, of course, we're proud to be able to speak about. And as far as, Angel, you shared how you found AdventHealth. So why do you continue to choose AdventHealth, Valerie?
I continue to choose AdventHealth because they have a lot of opportunity here, especially as we're growing. And they have wonderful benefits, such as paid education, to various avenues of what you'd like to do. I mean, from becoming a PA or an APRN or something in imaging, a technician, or even something in more of the support team, financials, HR. You know, they have so many avenues to have this paid, and they are connected with schools that they do pay 100% tuition. But the most important thing to me is that from our team and even our panelists here, we're treated as valued employees. We're decision makers, right? We're not at the top of the food chain there, but things are brought down to us to ask for our feedback and how we would do things, and we're allowed to, you know, provide feedback and make things happen. And we're a part of that piece, and that means a lot to me.
Definitely. Thank you, Valerie, for sharing that. And Jason, would you mind sharing why you chose AdventHealth as well?
Yes, yes. One of the main things was what Valerie was talking about, all the benefits that caught my eyes when I was doing my extended search research for jobs. Um, I have a story too. I am originally from New Jersey and I moved to Florida for a new start. And the main reason why I choose AdventHealth is because I wanted to make sure that my first step or my next step, it will be something moving forward, right? And I wanted to make sure that I enjoy a big company, a company that, give me the place to grow and there's room to grow and they have multiple locations. It was very important for me to be close to my house, so that way I could be close to my family as well. And definitely AdventHealth gave all those requirements, to kind of fulfill all those requirements that I was looking for.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jason, for sharing that. And Jessica, for you, what makes AdventHealth Medical Group specifically, your office, an amazing place to work?
Thank you, Sky. So I think it's really about the staff and the patients and my support that I have here with some of these panelists I've known for a while and I've been with AdventHealth for so long. We really try to make it a family. We try to, we spend a lot of time together. We try to make sure that we are all valued and supported through school, through personal and professional growth and adversities. We're here for our patients. Like Angel mentioned, we pray with our patients if they wish to do that. We check in, we know their families. It's very close with the people that are here, our staff, our providers. We celebrate together. We're here so much together that you have to have that personally and professionally. And so that's what we try to do here. And I know that's how I've been with my staff. And as I know the panelists as well, try to move us all forward that way.
Definitely. Thank you, Jessica. And I think it's important to mention too that this is something that is really inbred into the culture of AdventHealth. This is not a one-off situation from these team members that you're listening to today. It is something that I'm proud to say is really built into the culture, right, of helping people feel like people, right? Team members, family members, we are all family members. And I think that's really important because when you're looking for a new organization to join, and if you're looking at AdventHealth, I think that's something to really take to heart and consider, that it's something that we truly are and that we don't just talk about, we do. And we have a voice and we have that community within each other's offices or the community as a greater as a whole, right? As AdventHealth is one. So really appreciate you sharing that, Jessica. I think that's really important for our attendees today to hear. And now we're going to really pivot because, again, we are specifically looking for certified medical assistants in the Tampa area. That is what, the main point of this conversation and who we are really trying to make sure we get information clearly across to today in the conversation. So Jason, if you could just tell us how you got into medical assisting and how did you know that that was the career for you?
Well, let me start this way. I didn't know it was a career for me, but I always have this passion for care for people, this passion for to help people, and doing doing a little research back then. I'm talking about 12 years ago. I'm being a medical assistant. I realized that the medical field was where I was looking for. And in order for me to start, I wanted to be able to understand how office setting works, how a hospital works, and being a medical assistant actually provide that to me. All I can say is that one of the main reasons is just to help people and the desire to make a difference on the community and for our patients while I'm caring. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. And I know that Angel touched on this a little bit earlier, but Valerie, if you could speak to what the MA or Medical Assistant Clinical Ladder Program is, and how does this program set us apart from other organizations in the area?
Yeah, so the medical assistant clinical ladder, it provides the ability for medical assistants to grow. Just to touch on how that's different from other, medical groups or doctor offices, as, I am also a medical assistant. I can remember being in a private practice and man, you have to wait for that office manager to quit or something, to happen for them to not be in that position so that you could actually like get into it. So, this ladder, it helps medical assistants develop because there's certain criteria that you have to do, such as developing standard operating procedures, do some leadership stuff, lead a huddle or a team meeting, and obviously with some coaching behind it, right? Because you're trying to get to the next level. So it starts off with an MA1. And then you do some tasks, and then you can go on to an MA2. And of course, with each of these steps is development and could possibly be some pay increases from one step to the other. Eventually, you'll go on to a lead MA, and then after the lead MA is a practice manager. So the ladder provides all the tools that you're going to need along the way. So when you get to your final destination, you are actually going to be successful because you got all of the tools that you needed to have on your way there. Like I said, I'm a practice administrator now, but at one time I was a medical assistant. So.
Wonderful. Thank you, Valerie. And Jessica, did you have something you'd like to add as well?
I was going to add, yes.
Yeah, right ahead.
When I started with AdventHealth over 7 years ago, I actually came in as a front office assistant. And when I started, I kind of moved up into coordinator. And I currently hold a bachelor's degree. So I was looking to, move a career forward, not sure what I wanted to do. I had some options, but I had raising a family and trying to decide what I wanted to do. I too moved here from New Jersey and was trying to, make a different life for myself and my family. And so I actually met Val. She became my manager at one point. We've been through acquisitions, name changes, system changes. And I actually became a medical assistant under her about 4 years ago. And I trained in that office under the doctor that I had worked originally as a front office for. And so I went from there into medical assisting, working on the floor with the provider, giving injections, doing EKGs, learning how to do that. And trying to be proficient at those things. And with Val, that happened for me. And I really always appreciated that. We're good friends to this day. Not only because of that, but then I became a little over a year ago, I was promoted to a practice manager. So I can speak to the hard work and moving a career forward and making a life for yourself with different avenues, maybe not knowing exactly what you want to do, but having these tools and these opportunities, and then taking them and kind of growing within an organization and making friends and, having a support system around you. This is definitely the place, that you want to be.
Thank you so much, Jessica. That is, again, just a testament to what these programs can do for your growth, just from the examples that you both shared. And how you were able to grow and move up in the organization, and not just for personal growth, but the community that was created between you all working together, encouraging each other to learn and grow. So I think that's just a perfect testament to what we're all about at AdventHealth. And Jason, I know this is a program that you've gone through. So can you talk about your experience being in the clinical ladder and how that got you to where you are today?
That's right. So additional what Valerie and Jessica was saying is that my experience with the ladder was that I knew that about the ladder since day one I got hired. I remember doing my lab skills, and that's the first time I heard of it. And like I mentioned it before, one of the main reasons that I joined AdventHealth just to grow, and the fact that I knew it from early stage, it kind of made me more passionate what I was doing. As well, being coachable by Valerie, and all I can tell you that the experience that I got by my managers is incredible. The fact that they teach me how to be a leader, how to become a leader, the leadership, always being in front, it means a lot. And like I said, it grows to me. It's something that I never had, and now I'm actually experienced and put it in practice.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jason. And again, I would just want to point out the fact that all these team members here on the conversation today have been part of each other's journey within AdventHealth, and I think that's really special and not completely uncommon either, right? Like we know that there are many times where team members impact each other's journeys and stories along the way. So I think it's special that the team you're seeing here today have all played a part in each other's growth and success, and just another wonderful aspect to the AdventHealth Medical Group West Florida division and these teams specifically as well. So Jason, thank you for sharing that. And I think it goes without saying, but just incredible to see the quick pace at which you've been able to grow and excel in your roles. So thank you for sharing that. And then as far as the morale of your team and how you all keep each other so positive, and I know that everybody knows there's not always great days. There are some bad days, and you have to deal with hard things. You're dealing with people that maybe necessarily don't want to be in your office, right? No one usually chooses to be sick. So you all have to make the best of it, right? So if you could just talk to our attendees this evening about some of the things that you do for your office to increase the morale of your team. And Jessica, I'll hand this to you first.
Thank you, Sky. So morale is so important, trying to keep a team together and supported. We have hard days, especially in primary care, when we manage a lot of chronic issues for patients. And so we know a lot about their families. We know what they're going through. We see their journeys, and sometimes those days are hard. So some of the things we do as a group, we try to do group activities. We try to, celebrate birthdays, celebrate retirement, celebrate, promotions. We do our holiday parties, our birthday parties. We do gift exchanges. We have a thanks program here that they actually recently started out of a recognition committee that our staff were asked to join and come in and give examples of things that staff were asking about. How can we recognize staff members? And that's whether it be staff on the floor, clinical team, front office, managers, each other, our IT department. I've sent one to our IT and he was flabbergasted, right? It was IT, thank you so much for helping me, because we have those days when the computer is just ready to go and it's not working. So everybody, our maintenance teams, our virtual staff, our work from home staff. So we want to always encourage them. So we have a lot of benefits here that we try to do in the office and also as teams, team building, and things that we try to do with our staff and for our staff that show that we appreciate them, and that, breaks up the day and that kind of keeps us motivated.
That's perfect. Thank you, Jessica. And one thing that you mentioned that I do want to bring up, because I know this is usually a common question, especially in these current times that we're in. Do you all have any information to share in regards to remote roles? I know that is not the main topic of conversation today, but would anyone be willing to share just an idea of what types of roles are typically remote, and if you have to be within the role for a certain amount of time before you're allowed to be remote? Yeah,
Hey,
Valerie, go
Sky,
ahead.
I'll go ahead and take that one because I
Yeah,
actually do have some remote employees that work with our office. So some of
thank
the
you.
remote positions that I have are a medical assistant. So she's our virtual MA, and she helps our team by getting all of our virtual video appointments for our patients ready for our providers. So she's doing the intake. And, since she's not needed to go from room to room to see patients in exam rooms, she can be at home and getting the virtuals and seeing the patients virtually and completing that task from home. I also have remote employees that do their designated phone members, our phone team members, and they answer most of our clinical calls for our teams and communicating with them, helping them with medications, getting the messages over to the clinical team or to the doctors. Some of those front desk roles again that we're talking about, but they're doing that from home because again, they're not needed to see patients, face to face. So we put them remotely to work from home, and it works out for them. They save additional money from them gas prices going up and down, and sometimes they have some other things going on at home that just kind of helps them with their daily schedules and lives. So it's that work-life balance we're definitely trying to, encourage and empower people to have.
Wonderful. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate that. I know there were a lot of questions in the chat in regards to remote, so I wanted to take advantage of that while Jessica mentioned it there. But going back to the topic of increasing morale and just keeping morale high, Angel, did you have anything you would like to add to that as well?
Yes, absolutely. So just to give you a little bit more details on what Jessica talked about, in January of this current year, 2023, the recognition committee was birthed. And since then, it's been meeting monthly to really talk about best practices. We want to hear from our staff and really kind of hear from the frontline workers on what they'd like to see when it comes to recognition. We wanted to get tangible feedback and specifics because recognition looks different for every single individual. So shortly after starting the recognition team, we sent out surveys to all providers, team members, and we were super excited to see that over 400 people responded and took the time to fill out the survey and really give us their candid feedback. So immediately after that, we took pen to paper and action, and we decided to implement, like Jessica mentioned, our Thanks program. In the first month of our Thanks program, our own leaders shared 429 Thanks gift cards for various items and various reasons for appreciation to our staff. So talk about recognition. I mean, that was fantastic. The Thanks program actually has you can personalize each Thanks gift card. So it had cute little, thanks a latte, and it was a latte for Starbucks. So it was really, really nice to see, us putting action behind receiving all of that amazing feedback. We also really promoted the Recognizing You cards. Those were actually sent to all of AHMG, and it continues to promote just giving a friendly thanks to and recognizing each other, peers. One of the things that I've seen personally is I love to see how providers actually get involved and really take individuals like medical assistants under their wing and really take the time to develop them and teach them, especially those going to PA school and they're just, their goal is to be in that role later on. So we've seen a lot of Recognizing You cards being sent out to every different individuals. Now, the great news is our job's not done yet. We have so much more to come. So I wanted to kind of give you a sneak peek of what our future initiatives look like for the recognition committee, because the job just never ends, right? Recognition never stops. So one of the things that we're looking to implement in the future is hosting one large employee appreciation event in March. starting in 2024. That's our tentative date now, and then creating annual events after that, just to really celebrate our team members coming together, celebrating work anniversaries, 5-year at the 5-year increments, developing quarterly awards and recognitions for each group of our team members, including clinical, non-clinical, administrative support, non-patient facing. So everybody is included. No one gets left behind. And really coming together, especially after COVID, that really put a damper on coming together, giving those nice and friendly hugs. So we're hoping to get back to that, where we can host one large event, bring everyone together, embrace each other, and really celebrate success and everything going on. So those are just some things that we're looking to continue in 2024.
That is wonderful, Angel. And I saw this come through in the chat as well, that how empowering it is, and how much you empower your team members by giving them that voice and listening to them. And I again, that speaks volumes beyond what we're even able to say this evening. But thank you, Angel, for your work, and for all the team members that are putting team members first, because we're all human and we need that support, we need that care. And sometimes it's easy to feel forgotten when you're always taking care of others, which is what you all do. So it is very important to keep that front of mind. And I know it is appreciated, I'm sure, by our attendees hearing what you all do for each other too. And Valerie, did you have anything else that you wanted to add to that as well?
Sure. So, morale means a lot to me, and we spend a lot of time together at work, and I want us to be happy. Not all days are good days. We do have the chaos days, don't get me wrong. But for the most days, the majority should be easy going. I like who I work with. I love what we do, and, just caring for the patients. So for morale, I try to do rounding and touch everyone every day, just to kind of gauge where they're at. And if I see someone that's not doing so well, like maybe we need to, have a little talk, so maybe I can dive into what's going on, be supportive, if just only an ear for them at that time. I also want to, know what's going on in people's lives, where they want to be. How can I help you on your journey for development, and be knowledgeable to help them get there? And, we do team building activities. We have huddles every day. We do one-on-ones monthly. We have staff meetings monthly, because I know that communication is important to people. And sometimes in a big organization, big office, sometimes that can get very, very difficult to do. So we try to find very creative ways, outside the box ways, to make sure that everyone has the same information. We also just started something with my office, and, challenging other offices with the kickball games we have. So my office has now had 2 kickball games, and yes, I've been on the winning team each time. So we started doing that, and, trying to change it up every month, where we all get together as a team outside of work, going to a lightning game. I think we're talking about, doing a painting class together. And this is including the doctors. Like, the doctors are showing up to these events to be a part of this team. Because sometimes when you do things like that, you trust each other. And you have to have that. Like, that's the foundation of a functional team, is trust. And, just building on that is being honest and transparent with your team members. Because at the end of the day, when you have that trust, they know what your intent is, and where you're all headed as a team.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that, Valerie. I think that is so important. And obviously, having such a strong foundation to the team is what allows AdventHealth to continue to grow and expand. So, Valerie, if I could continue to speak with you in regards to the vision of AdventHealth Medical Group, how we continue to grow and expand the types of services that we have in the coming years, just to share an overview of that with our attendees so they know what to look forward to.
Absolutely. So the vision of AHMG, especially the primary care part, is to double in size, I know, in the next couple of years. Right now, we have about 300 plus primary care providers, and we're looking to grow to be around the 650, at least by 2025. So that just means opportunities for medical assistants, opportunities for front desk, support staff, financial, admin, practice managers. For our internal folks, that means growth, right? Because we're going to move you through the MA ladder and get you to where you need to be. And as people move along, that creates openings for someone else to kind of start there and go through that ladder as well. I see a lot of comments coming through about what's happening with Riverview. I do know there will be openings there, especially when that hospital opens. I believe the hospital is scheduled to open next year. So that's going to create more opportunities and probably some more clinics around that area for the medical group. So a lot of opportunity. And, for those that don't know, we are multi-state. We're not just in Florida. We're in, 6 or 7 other states. And we all have the same name. And you can transfer from one place to the other, if life changes for you. So a lot of growth, a lot of things to do here at Advent. Just depends on what your passion is and where you want to go.
Perfectly said. And yes, as Valerie said, we are in many other states. So we will share some information about our other locations with you all in the chat as well. But thank you, Valerie. Exciting to know that you all will be doubling in size, growing your care pavilions, and really just continuing to expand the care and the quality of care, of course, that's provided in the Tampa area and beyond. Now, of course, we've talked a lot about how you all take care of your team members. So I want to talk to you, Jason, about how you take care of yourself, right? So what is the work-life balance like for you as a medical assistant within AdventHealth?
That's right. I'm excited to talk about this. I have a lot of people actually asking me, how do I manage my day? Just because I do go to school, I work a full time, I do have a family, and at the same time, I work out and I do have time to expend time outside, go places. Now that I'm in Florida, I'll go and see everything, right? So the fact that I joined AdventHealth, and I start going to school, I start by expressing that to my managers, right? And one of the main things that I did is because of my schedule, right? So the fact that I do work for a pavilion where some schedules could be flexible, it helped me a lot. And the main thing, it was express it to my manager, trying to get those answers, trying to be able to accommodate my time and be able to be at my job while I'm working there, and then have extra time for me to actually go to school and be able to accomplish that as well.
That is incredible. And what a wonderful example to hear for our attendees this evening. And for those who may be watching this later on, to hear that it really is possible to balance school, family, and working full time, and that AdventHealth supports you in that journey. I think that's one of the most important aspects, that they are there to help you time-wise as well as financially as well. So we have so many employee benefits, and one of them is tuition assistance. For those joining, I know we've had some questions in the chat if AdventHealth Medical Group hires RNs, and we sure do. There are RN positions throughout AdventHealth Medical Group locations as well. So maybe you are starting off your healthcare career journey and you're looking to become a nurse. That's something that AdventHealth can help you do financially with our tuition assistance program. So thank you, Jason, for sharing that. Excited to hear about your continued growth in the future within AdventHealth, and very impressive how you're able to manage that work-life balance. And Jason, one more question that I have for you this evening as we come close to the conclusion of our conversation. I want to paint the picture for those attendees that maybe aren't too familiar with AdventHealth Medical Group locations. I know we talked about the hospital facilities and how they're different than them, but how are they different in the aspect of how you're able to really connect with your patients and just creating an overall different, patient provider relationship in the medical offices?
Yes, I mean, one of the main things that I like to do is first of all have empathy for our patients, right? Having empathy for a patient makes us understand their point of view and how they look at us on the other side, right? And once you build that empathy, I believe that trust comes right after, strong communication. And you know, a combination of all that will create a great experience for our patients. And while they feel, you know, they feel trust, they feel care, and at the same time, they don't feel a rush or you know, they don't feel like they are in a not in a hospital or a doctor's office.
Mhm. Wonderful. Yes. And that's one point that I wanted to hit home that you touched on there, that these patients are in and out, but they may you may build the relationship with them because you see them several times, right? They come to your office frequently, depending on the kind of specialty that you're at. So the more that you see them, the more they recognize you. And like you said, you build that trust, and you showing them that empathy allows the trust to be built. So I think that is a beautiful thing that is seen at our hospitals as well. But again, hospitals being longer term stay typically, and outpatient like our medical offices does allow for a different kind of relationship with your patients. So for those of you that are looking at a medical assistant role or any role really within AdventHealth Medical Group, it is good to consider your personality type and how you feel you would best interact with patients and work on that building of relationships with them. So Jason, thank you for sharing.
sorry.
Oh yeah, Angel, go right ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to add something to that because I think
Yeah.
it's a perfect segue to something. So centralized hiring, it's a very unique department here. So the reason why we have it is just for that fact that we do realize that medical assistants, for me, I specifically interview and hire for front office and medical assistants for throughout all of AHMG West Florida. So what that means is every candidate has the opportunity to interview with one person and be considered for the multiple opportunities that we have. We do our very best to ask really great questions to identify what type of position they're looking for, what type of position will match their work-life balance better, so that we can really create that work-life balance that Jason was talking about. So again, that's what makes centralized so amazing, is that you're not just interviewing for one position. We'll really work to match you up with the right opening that best fits your needs and really best fits your passions. So again, you have the opportunity to be considered for multiple positions, and we'll really try to hone in on those skills, location, you know, and work-life balance. We have clinics that work 4 10-hour shifts. So for the individuals who go to class 1 day a week, they can have that 1 day off during the week. So again, it is fantastic how we can really alter the interview process to each candidate and really match them up with the right office.
Thank you, Angel. No, that was so important to speak on, and to, again, just really confirm the point that we've been making throughout this conversation, that AdventHealth Medical Group and these team members here are willing to work with you and make sure that you land in the spot where you're meant to be, and that you enjoy, and that you ultimately find your home within AdventHealth. And thank you, Angel, for the work that you do and making sure that people find that right place. So for those of you that are applying, know that that is part of the process. And I know we had a question come in the chat of where to apply to jobs for AdventHealth. So we want to direct you to jobs.adventhealth.com. I will go ahead and drop that in the chat to everyone. Again, applying directly on our careers page is the best way to do so. So please, again, feel free to check out all job openings if you're maybe not in the Tampa or Florida area and interested in locations in our other states. We have all of our locations listed there, so you can search by location. I know we spoke about walk-in Wednesdays. Again, we have walk-in interviews every Wednesday from 10 to 2 at participating locations. Again, our team here is one of those participating locations. We will drop the link in the chat to that. And then for all of you who are attending, and those of you that have registered and maybe were not able to attend and are watching this later, on our YouTube page, we will send out more information in regards to walk-in interviews, so you can be prepared for that. And that way you have the address and could be interviewing with Angel, who is with us today. So looking forward to seeing the interest from those of you that are able to join that. And then if you're interested, again, in joining our Career Expo, I want to give a quick overview of what that experience is like. Jessica, if you could, before we wrap up our conversation today, just give an overview of what they can expect, again, on October 3rd and 4th at Raymond James Stadium in regards to the Career Expo, and how it's a little bit different than how people may expect to get hired within AdventHealth.
Sure, Sky. So I actually attended my very first Raymond James event for hiring back in June, and Angel walked me through everything because it was quite overwhelming because AdventHealth West Florida is a division that has primary and specialty, right? It does not include the hospitals, even though we're one company. So when you go to these events, at this event in particular, you will see not only AdventHealth Medical Group West Florida, you will also see AdventHealth hospitals, our long-term care facilities, our home health. You will also see our AdventHealth University, where you could talk to counselors and that could walk you through some of those programs that we're talking about. There's also opportunities for internships through there. We have a lot of students that come through from schools that are looking to drop their resumes with AdventHealth. And so they're set up as tables in different areas and they're all labeled. So when you come in, there's a lot. So when you come in, they have some refreshments and snacks and people that are walking you through so you can kind of see where things are, but there's different tables set up. And so there are banners for each of our tables that will have representatives from those different entities within AdventHealth. So AdventHealth has our multiple hospitals. We have several hospitals in this area where our medical group all are established. So we have Zephyr Hills, Dade City, Tampa, Wesley Chapel, for example. We also have our home health group for our home health nurses, CNAs, the ones that go out to the houses and to visit our patients. We have the long-term care facility. So they're all representatives there with tables and, they're ready to take resumes and speak to you regarding opportunities within those entities. You also get some cool, I have a little heart here. It's a little, what is this? A squeegee, a stress ball. Yes, I love it. I stole it from the event. And, so it could be a little overwhelming because there's a lot of tables, but just know because AdventHealth is one group, but we have a lot of entities within it that, might have other opportunities for students to internship or for part-time, full-time, work from home. And so feel free to stop at all of those facilities and kind of get what our AdventHealth family is about and what other opportunities in the future could be with us as a whole.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jessica. Yes, and definitely take your time to go through and speak to everyone throughout the different locations. As she said, everything is labeled clearly. There are lots of team members there that will be able to assist you and walking you around, answering questions. And most importantly, hopefully you will have the opportunity to meet with some of the team members here on the call today. Again, we are looking for those certified medical assistants as well as some care concierge as well as front desk team members for the AdventHealth Medical Group West Florida Division. So again, they will have their own table at the Career Expo as well as the other facilities that Jessica mentioned. So bring your resumes, make sure that you dress professionally and be ready to interview. And yes, Valerie, go right ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, because I've seen some chats come through or some messages come through. We do have practice administrator positions available. We do have practice manager positions available. You don't have to be clinical or a medical assistant to apply for those positions. But we have them available in our North Pinellas, Palm Harbor, Tampa, Dade City, San Antonio. So I've seen them come through. So yes, we do have those available as well.
Thank you, Valerie, for answering that question. And thank you for our team members with AdventHealth that have been monitoring the chat. So Stephanie and Michael, want to just thank you both for answering questions for our attendees this evening. Just to confirm, you can search all AdventHealth Medical Group openings on our jobs page. If you go on the career section of our website, it will list medical group openings specifically. So make sure that you take a look at that. And we have shared lots of links in the chat. We will follow up with everyone via email with the recording of this presentation this evening. So if there's anything you want to go back and listen to, maybe Angel's great interview advice or what to think about to prepare for our Career Expo and walk-in interview events. So I just want to thank you all so much for your time this evening, to our panelists, to our attendees. This was an incredible conversation. I think you will truly represent AdventHealth and who we are and what we believe and how we take care of our patients and each other. So thank you so much. Again, please make sure that you register for our Career Expo. That link was shared in the chat. That will be shared via email as well, or stop by our walk-in interviews event on Wednesdays from 10 to 12. And again, we will email out that address as well as a flyer regarding that event. So To close our conversation, I want to thank you all, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you at our upcoming events and joining the AdventHealth family very soon. But Jason, Jessica, Valerie, and Angel, thank you so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Sky.
Thank you
Thanks
all.
so
Take
much.
care.
Thank you, Sky.